exhausted, if you're feeling like there may be heavier energy, or you might feel like just not very excited, not very energized. This is a message for anyone who feels like that. So sometimes when we feel like we just don't want to do much, or we're feeling down, many people start to search outside reasons for that, or astrological reasons for that. But the truth about astrological reasons is that planetary positions never truly affect you to feel like being exhausted, or being really, really without any drive or energy. Sometimes, because of certain planetary positions, you may feel more driven, like motivated externally, and sometimes there's energy that may make you feel like to be more introverted, to be a bit slower and really more in tune with yourself. So it's not that you feel exhausted because of these energies, it's because you're kind of swimming against the curve of nature, against the stream of nature, that you feel like that. So if you imagine yourself like a huge jar of water, and now imagine that each distraction or everything you do in your life creates one hole into this jar. Like you grab your phone, start scrolling a little bit, it's one hole. You talk with someone, it's another hole.
Gained just shy of 400 subscribers. That's basically around one video a week, every single week. No skipping, no excuses. When I had skin in the game, like I said, investing in this camera, it made me take YouTube so much more seriously. And throughout this whole period, by the way, I was also a full-time college student. I had a part-time job, I was TAing classes, and that meant that I had to teach some classes actually, and I was grading dozens of assignments every single week. My time management skills were at the top of my game, and I had to invent strategies to create that consistency that I wanted. YouTube videos, creating them, like editing them, became a habit for me, one that I didn't want to quit. And in terms of time management, one of the best things that I did was have multiple videos going at once. So I tried to find a balance between making talking head videos like this one and art vlogs or painting processes. And I'd often be making 2 at once. So I would prep for all of these videos in the evening, write the script, rehearse the talking points, etc. And then during the day, when I had time between classes or weekends, whatever, I would record a talking head video, maybe 1 or 2. And then throughout the entire month or week, whenever I had time, I would be working on that studio vlog, filming when I could. Having multiple SD cards is really great for this because it helps keep all of your footage separated. And that schedule works really well, and it's still one that I kind of use to this day, and honestly, I probably return back to. My first year of YouTube, now in the bag, I posted 34 videos, gained 534 subscribers, and received a little over 1,000 watch hours. Very modest gains, but my goal during this period wasn't really to grow. I had to learn a lot to really succeed on the platform, and that's what that first year was all about. So, what did I learn? The first thing that I had to learn during this year that I had to really teach myself was video production. I went into this whole process not being comfortable on camera, not knowing what I was doing. I didn't have a dedicated YouTube camera. I was filming again exclusively on my phone. That meant that I had to figure out file management and exposure with a much more difficult setup than a real professional camera because it's a phone, you know what I mean? So I also had to figure out like how to speak on camera, what kind of script writing worked best for me. Was it talking points or a full script? And getting that comfort on camera, being able to be myself, is a skill that you have to practice. And there's no other way to do that. There's no shortcut. You just have to make videos. And during this period, I also had to teach myself a lot about the inner workings of YouTube and marketing basics in general. YouTube is really just marketing and filmmaking kind of mashed together. And if you have a good understanding of both, then you're pretty set. Creators like Catherine Mating, Jessica Stansberry, and Film Booth were immensely helpful when it came to the content strategy side of things. And going into it, I already had a little bit of an idea of what I wanted my channel to be about. I knew that I wanted it to be about art entrepreneurship and my journey from getting to point A to point B, eventually a full-time artist, hopefully. But I had a lot to learn. I wasn't thinking about my target audience. I wasn't thinking about a content funnel. I wasn't thinking about like my content pillars or like a general strategy, and I had to figure all of that out along the way. But with that understanding, as I started to gain a deeper realization of how marketing and YouTube works together, I started to pay more attention to search-focused content. Search-focused content is content that is designed to rank in the search algorithm here on YouTube. It is value-driven content, content that is aimed toward your target audience, who you actually want to speak to, and solves problems for them, is entertaining, provides some kind of value, presents solutions in some way. And related to that search-focused content, and that bit about audience that I was saying, I really started to pay a lot of attention to understanding my audience, the kind of person that I wanted to speak to with my content. For me, that's primarily women ages 18 to 35 who are artists or want to be artists or are creative in some kind of way and really want to take their passions full-time potentially. And so I make a lot of content for that kind of person, what they are interested in, what they need from me, how can I present solutions for them, how can I represent them in a way that matters to me. And that kind of stuff really informs all of my content strategy. Once you really understand the importance of providing value, of being open, honest, transparent, and relatable, sharing your story, I mean, those lessons, putting that into practice, that is how I blew up on the platform. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We are still a long ways off from today's date. So it's May of 2021 and I just graduated college. That was great for me. I was so done with school. I was so over remote schooling. It was just unreal. I am so glad that's over for me. And I had a small part-time job as a virtual assistant, but I was kind of looking for other work because my channel at that point was not nearly at the level that it needed to for me to take that full time. So I was applying for other jobs, but I was also moving to New York City in August. So I had a couple of months basically of free time that I could spend exclusively on the channel. And that is exactly what I did. So between May of 2021 and this past December, I posted 44 videos, so around twice a week-ish, gained 2.3 thousand subscribers, and accumulated 5,000 watch hours. I got monetized on November 18th. And with each video at this point, I was getting a little bit better at both the production stage, so filming, preparing, researching, figuring out what topics I wanted to talk about, which is really one of the most important parts, working on my titles and my thumbnails, and the editing stage. So making my videos entertaining in post, adding fun titles, making them more attention-grabbing, zooming in and out as needed if I wanted to. And during this period, I was also paying a lot of attention to B-roll, so trying to incorporate more shot variation into my videos, trying to film like every step of a process. So for example, if I was filming a painting process video, I would film like me entering my studio, me walking up to my desk, me sitting down at my desk, getting out my supplies, like opening the drawers, getting things out, putting the paints on the palette, filling up my water cup, getting my brushes ready. Like all of those things involved in that sequence would be filmed. And that is excellent B-roll content. That is an amazing way to introduce more shot variation to your videos. I get a lot of comments from people saying that like, doesn't that take you out of the moment? Doesn't that detract from the experience of painting? And honestly, I've just gotten really used to it. It doesn't take that much time to do. It's super easy. And I often work in sections anyway, so zooming in or out to focus on a specific area ends up working out really well for me. And I think it makes the videos a lot more interesting. And the other thing that really improved about my content during this intense period of working on the channel almost full time was the editing. I started to watch creators like Hillier Smith and Film Booth and more like professional movie editing YouTubers, and that's really where I began to learn lots more about editing. So trying to be more creative, trying to hide the jump cuts between transitions, and kind of like doing like J and L cuts or like whatever those are called. I also started to pay a lot of attention to the retention graphs of my videos. So the side effect of posting a lot is that you have a lot of data to work with, and so I was analyzing those retention graphs to try and figure out where people were leaving the videos and how you can make them more entertaining. And I know that as I describe all of these skills and this whole process, that might sound really intimidating. And I don't want you to be turned off of starting a channel because of this. You have to remember this was a 2-year process for me of just failing over and over and over again, and just trying to learn a little bit every single time so I could fail a little bit less the next time. And that's the whole thing. Like, my videos were not good at first. It took me forever to find a good filming setup, to find my competitive advantage in my community, to figure out what made this channel work. And that took a lot of failure. It took a lot of just me throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticked. Figuring out what works best for you on YouTube is a lot like trying to figure out your art style. You have to kind of copy other creators, other established creators, masters in their field, if you will, and do master copies in the form of trying to copy their style and filter it through your own personality and preferences. And eventually you might find something that works best for you. You learn a little bit every time you do something like that, and eventually you figure out your own identity as a creator, be it as an artist or as a YouTuber. But that brings us to now. So from this past December to the point that I'm recording this right now, I've gained 35.8 thousand subscribers, accumulated 73,000 watch hours, and posted 24 videos. That's just under a video per week. I've taken more breaks than I ever have before, but I've also encountered more success than I never have before, which might not sound super intuitive. You might think that like posting more videos would mean more success, and that's not necessarily true. So how did I do that? All of those skills that I was talking about before, they build on top of each other. A 1% increase with every single upload adds up a lot over time. Yes, I posted fewer videos during this period, but a higher percentage of those videos were successes than ever before. And during this period, I also paid a lot more attention to the things that were working, trying to double down. This means figuring out what kind of format works best, what kind of topics work best, how should I edit these videos, and again, analyzing the data and those retention graphs to figure out what that is. Because I've made so many videos and tried so many things, I have a lot of data to pull from. And for your first 100 videos on your own channel, I would suggest that you try a little bit of everything. That way, once you have those 100 videos in the bag, you can make more data-informed decisions when it comes to what to do next. And while a lot of the videos that I've made honestly have not succeeded, quite a lot of them have failed, a couple of them have succeeded, either by ranking in search or by being picked up by browse features. And from all of those successes, I've been able to figure out which videos perform the best for this channel. And for me, at least, that is tightly edited videos with various camera angles. Those tend to perform better than those that are lower effort. And I've reached the point now where I'm able to fairly accurately predict which videos will do well and which won't. And the natural consequence of this is to only make that kind of video. The reason that a lot of artists choose to not pay a lot of attention to the data is because they're either not that inclined or because they don't want to fall into that trap of thinking too much about the numbers. But in my opinion, this is just me, I think analyzing the data gives you a lot of information. Okay, you can figure out which videos do well for you in your channel, but it's up to you how you use that information. I like to think of it in a way that, like, okay, I now have complete control over the growth of this channel. I can grow it if I want to, or I can slow down the growth if I want to. I can double down. I can go through periods of weeks or months where I make more of that type of video, but I can also still experiment. Like, there's nothing mandatory about only making that kind of video. I don't have to be an infinite growth machine if I don't want to. My inevitable goal for this channel is not to hit 1 million subscribers. My goal for this channel is to achieve financial stability as an artist and to share my work with the world, to like change people's lives, like you guys, to make a difference, to help you think of things that you never thought were possible in your careers. And I don't need to be an infinite growth machine to achieve that. You know what I mean? Like, I can get to a point where I'm comfortable and I can only make those types of videos when I want to, if I want to, saving that opportunity for when I think I have something really valuable to say. that is a recap of my journey so far, and honestly, who knows where this channel is going to go next. It's really all because of you guys that we've hit 40,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you. And if you're interested in learning more about these strategies that I've used for growth, I've made an entire playlist of videos that I've made on this exact topic right here. And in that playlist, I share basically everything. I mean, I've been on the platform for 2 years. I've been making these kinds of videos for a while, and I've been sharing the entire journey to here along the way. So you can watch my older videos to get a good sense for how I filmed and what I've used to grow. And I also have an interactive workbook if you want to start your own channel that I will link in the description. You just have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Over the past couple of weeks, I have been giving my subscribers free one-on-one advice/coaching calls with me. And this past week, I talked to Scott, a really talented oil painter and art YouTuber that wants to turn his art into a part-time side hustle kind of thing over the next couple of years. We talked about time management, how to grow his following online, and how to expand his business. I think you guys will get a lot out of this conversation. But before we dive into it, I do want to give a brief thank you to the sponsor of this video, Fiber Art. If you are interested in having your art woven into custom blankets and tapestries, stay tuned for that. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into my call with Scott.
I'm at a weird spot where I have a really good job and I don't necessarily need to make a living off of my art. I would like to be an oil painter and sell paintings and do that and be on YouTube. I kind of have a long runway. I'm not necessarily looking for it to happen overnight. I actually quite like my job a lot. I don't even necessarily have plans on leaving it right now, but I would obviously like to grow a business on YouTube, sell my art, that type of thing. So I guess I just had mostly questions about YouTube and about how else I can monetize some of my paintings.
Yeah, I think that's a really good spot to be in. I think like not having that pressure to go full-time as fast as possible is really going to help you just like have more creativity and also just have better mental health with it.
Yeah, the job thing for me was kind of something that I stumbled into. Like when I first kind of started walking down the path of like trying to do the art and stuff full time, I was definitely thinking that I want to do art full time.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody does. And then I kind of accidentally stumbled into the job. It just worked out really well. And like I'm on the same page with my boss and they know that I'm doing the art and stuff. And if my art ends up taking off, I can like go down part-time and stuff there if I want to. So it's just a good opportunity that it takes a lot of the pressure off of having to perform, I guess, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so let's talk YouTube and stuff. Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, so right now I'm doing live streams. I've been doing them every day for the past 160 something days. I've been doing them.
I'm subscribed to you. I've been seeing them pop up, and I'm like, dude, wow. Day like 156 or whatever. Holy shit.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily start out on purpose to do that.
Yeah.
It was more to get myself into a habit of painting every day. Originally, I was thinking that I would make a painting, put out a video. Make a painting, put out a video. I'm kind of thinking now that maybe, and I wanted your advice on this, as I was writing the questions, and I kind of had some ideas, but do you think that I should put out a video with every painting that I'm doing? Or do you think I should just keep on doing the live stream thing and put out a video like maybe once a month or once every 2 months when I thought I had a really good one?
Looking at your videos compared to your streams, your videos are doing better than your streams in terms of views. Like the VODs for your streams are performing fine, but your videos are doing much better. If I were you, I would think about, okay, can I use the footage that I'm recording and I'm broadcasting in the stream and turn that into a YouTube video and kind of accomplish 2 birds with 1 stone, basically. So like you're spending your time on stream recording content, or at least parts of your stream is going to be a recorded video that you post on your channel. I think if you wanted to go more of the stream route and double down on that, I think part of why your streams aren't doing as well in the VOD format is because they have all the same thumbnail. I think that you should brand every single stream just like a video. It should have its own title, it should have its own thumbnail. Because right now, like for me, there's nothing, like, there's no difference. Yeah, there's no difference between day, 2 versus day 163. But like you're making different content in all of those, it's just not reflected in the branding. I think that's a missed opportunity.
Gotcha.
I think you're leaving money on the table for that.
Yeah, you know what? When I first started doing it, I basically try to get everything out of the way. For me, saying no to doing a live stream that day, so I just prepped a whole bunch of thumbnails, and I was just like, I'll just go. You know what I mean? And then I started marching down that path. But that's funny because I clicked on one of my streams the other day to see the things, and it generated like a nice thumbnail, and I was like, oh, I should switch to that. You know what I mean? And then, but that makes no sense. Do you think I should make like a template that has like some sort of like my branding, and then change the picture every time?
There are a couple of guys that I know that are doing streams and turning those into really fully branded YouTube videos, like longest solo ever. I know this guy, he's like a music creator. I know him on Discord. He like really brands every single stream and VOD to be really unique. And I think that that's kind of the approach that I would go down. I would treat like the stream thumbnail and title just like you would a video. Try and have like the same kind of value prop, the same like, you know, picture of you with the painting or whatever, because it's performing well for you. So like, why not replicate what's already working for your streams?
I was thinking the exact same thing, where I guess we need to repurpose that footage into video. But the other thing is that I think that streaming gives you the best connection with the viewer. Long form videos are second, and short videos basically suck for that. Part of me wanting to do the streams is so that I'm a production machine for making. So I'm not necessarily trying to do something completely different on every stream. If I was trying to paint something, I don't know, like a challenge, or you know what I mean? I think that might take away from why I originally set me on that path, you know what I mean?
I don't think you should necessarily drop the make art every day until I break title for every stream. I think any change to make your stream VODs a little more unique after you finish going live would be good. Whether that looks like making custom thumbnails for like, I don't know, 40% of them or something. Even you could just do like, let's say you're working on a painting and it's gonna take you like 3 weeks and you're gonna stream every single day for those 3 weeks. Take like some kind of photo of the painting in progress and be like, hey, like, you know, we're working on this still, or this is this series, like episode, whatever, for your stream VODs. Just any way to distinguish them would be good.
I think that's good advice. Okay, so I originally started out and I was trying to think of a way to make myself into basically just a production machine.
Yeah.
I have a full-time job, so I don't necessarily have endless hours, right?
Right.
So if I'm going to do YouTube and make paintings, because painting needs to be my focus.
Yeah.
I like doing YouTube too. If I can make it easy, I can do both. I've got work, I've got family, and then that's like full schedule, right? So I need to make this like efficient. So I was thinking, I'll make a painting, I'll record it, then I will have the footage from that painting, and then each painting goes into an individual. Each painting gets made into an individual long form video and an individual short form video. I'm kind of feeling a little bit crunched for time. I'm thinking that I might want to stop doing videos for each individual one, and then just put out more produced videos, spend that same amount of time editing or whatever, but put those more produced videos into like what you said, which was like maybe like 100 days of, I did 150 days of live streams.
Yeah.
Is what I learned. Or I think you had a really good one. It was like I painted for 1,000 hours. I think that was another one that you gave me before.
Yeah.
Which would be a really strong video, right?
Yeah.
For 1,000 hours, and this is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like your power, like your strong suit, I think, is in your consistency and the dedication that you put into your craft, and like you should leverage that any way that you can. In terms of like content advice, I totally agree with you. I think at this point you should definitely double down on the quality and kind of axe the quantity a little bit and just focus on making really good stuff.
Do you think that I should be aiming at other art, like, because I know I don't really want to do like educational art content. I don't want to make tutorials. That's kind of what you think. I don't really want to make tutorials. I kind of feel like I'm on the path of like learning myself right now. I don't really feel like I want to be there. I just want to be on the path of learning. I just want to stay focused on that. But do you still think that I should be, I guess inevitably, because I have an art channel, I'm going to be attracting other artists, right?
I think that it's probably the majority of your viewers. I think that's true for most art channels. I think there is absolutely room for you to double down on trying to have artists as your target audience and not have like education be your focus. What you could do is just focus, like double down on, I am leveling up my skills, I am learning things, here's what I'm learning, here is like how I'm learning it, and here like this is the pros and the cons and the successes and the failures, and kind of do it that way. So almost what you're doing is like personal development content for artists, basically. That's like kind of the thing that you're doing.
I like that, personal dev for artists.
Yeah, and that's like a thing that I've been playing around with too. Like one of my most popular videos that I uploaded The very last video I think that I uploaded last year was my how to make 2024 count video, and that was like very much like a personal development kind of video, just like a bunch of recycled B-roll footage for me, like half of the process of a painting, but it told a story, it had a message, and it did really well, I think, because it was almost storytelling focused with a small like actionable advice component to it.
I would call that like a philosophy video.
Yeah, almost.
But that
Yeah.
It's the same thing
Yeah.
that we're talking about. But I think that's originally what I thought that each of my individual painting videos would be about. I thought that I would pick like some sort of like personal depth philosophy thing and then put that out quick and dirty. Like I would record a voiceover for say however long it took me to do the topic, but not fill it up with a bunch of fluff so it was 20 minutes long, right? If it was 5 minutes, just talk about that, and then each painting footage would become that idea put out. But I guess that I could make it, like you said, personal depth for art.
I almost think that you don't necessarily need to have it just be one painting process from start to finish. Like, in the video that I made, you see half a painting process, but a lot of it is just like random footage that I had. The video still performed really fine. You might not even need to do a painting from start to finish. When you have a story that you want to tell, you could pull all of your interesting shots from, you know, the past 6 months or the past, you know, however long you haven't made a video for it yet, a huge library of footage that you have, and pull the most interesting bits from that and then put that in the video, because you have the painting process start to finish, show it in your streams, maybe in short form content too, maybe in like some videos, but you might not need to show like the entire painting process from start to finish, and focus on more like the personal development philosophy aspect of the video and the branding.
So I kind of feel that I'm between making like those quick and dirty personal depth philosophy videos, or do I make the more edited kind of, I would say like challenge style videos where it was like I streamed for 150 days, this is what happened, I painted for 1,000 hours and this is what happened, because I don't think that I have the capacity right now to end up doing both of those, because right now I'm trying to do both of those because I have both those ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting anything out because I can't make a decision between which way that I'm going.
I think that you should definitely do the higher quality ones. I think that is a thing worth trying for sure. I also think that it might not be such a binary choice like you're thinking. Like, you might be able to do the personal development philosophy videos in the higher quality format, because eventually you're going to run out of challenges, or at least like you're not going to feel as compelled. Your audience might get tired by having some variety, and occasionally doing like the higher quality videos that talk about like philosophy or your journey as an artist, aside from just the challenge component to it, might still work for you, and it might actually be the videos that do the best depending on how they turn out. So yeah, I mean, I think
guess
you should focus on the quality.
Talking it out right now with you is making me realize that it's not a binary choice, and that even if I did the challenge videos, then if I had time, I could still do the other one.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because I
Yeah,
have
I
all
mean,
the footage already.
Yeah, if you're not uploading on a schedule, like a strict schedule, like, you know, uploading once a week or something, then you can upload whenever you want. You have the streams as a connection to your audience that is constant, basically. After we wrapped up talking about Scott's YouTube channel and his live stream, we dove into the product and the business side of things, trying to figure out what products Scott could offer to his audience as an oil painter, and how he could eventually expand his business beyond just his YouTube channel. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the sponsor of this video. I genuinely think they are an incredible company. If you are interested in having your art woven into blankets or tapestries or even upholstery fabric, fiber art is going to be a great option for you. I recently got some of my own art turned into blankets, and I am really impressed with this quality. This is a sturdy blanket. It's so high quality. It's really cool to see like all of the colorful fringe. I don't know if you can see that. All of the colorful fringe and just the patterning, it's so cool. Their customer service was amazing. It was so easy to get this done.
I feel like I have a lot of growth to do. I also feel like I'm already good enough to start selling stuff. I do sell stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stuff, but I've been trying to more make
injuries over a period of time, then there'll be another guy here talking to you as well.
Which means that Sean Payton was trying to make this decision seem like it was based on Russell Wilson's play, which on paper improved. Now, guys, I understand what Denver Bronco fans are going to say.
Mike, you can't go based off of Russell Wilson's statistics. They don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't have a choice but to stick to Russell Wilson when you quite literally signed him to a 5-year contract extension that starts from this very year. And the thing is, the Denver Broncos aren't being honest with their fan base in regards to the real reason they want to cut Russell Wilson, which is apparently due to his injury clause.
And so we beat Green Bay, Kansas City, we beat them, and as you mentioned earlier, that's when I got that call, and I was like, I'm confused what's going on. And I didn't believe it at first. I was like, this can't be real. And I got that call that, hey, we're going to bench you for the next 9 games if you don't change the injury guarantees.
And the reason why I think this is such an inept decision by any organization is the moment you cut Russell Wilson, you incur $85 billion in dead cap hits, which means there is no chance for any rookie quarterback to succeed with the dead cap hit that Russell Wilson incurs. I mean, at least hold on to it for 1 more year. At least his dead cap would be almost half of what it's going to be now. So let me backtrack for a little bit. The Denver Broncos have been flip-flopping about Russell Wilson's future over the past couple of months after they decided to bench him at the end of the season. And the craziest part is what the Denver Broncos gave up to get Russell Wilson to begin with. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks got Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Tyreek Smith, Devin Witherspoon, and Derek Hall. For Russell Wilson, who went to the Denver Broncos and then signed into a 5-year, $262.5 million contract extension with 2 years left on his contract, which is a brilliant decision if you're confident that Russell Wilson is going to be the guy moving forward. Because when you take a look at Russell Wilson's contract compared to the highest paid QBs in the NFL, you got Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow, all making more money than Russell Wilson's contract that's about to kick in this year. And then on top of that, you have Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa that are all up for contract extensions this year. Then you also have Kirk Cousins, who is supposed to get a big contract as well. When it's all said and done, Russell Wilson is going to be playing on a below-market contract for a QB for the duration of his time in Denver. All Denver needs to do is truly believe that he can return to form if you put the right pieces around him. And it seems like they did that when they decided to trade additional draft capital for Sean Payton. But it seems like Sean Payton didn't really believe in Russell Wilson either. And I believe that's the reason they're moving on from him. And it's official. We were speculating that the Denver Broncos were going to release Russell Wilson, and today they officially released Russell Wilson. According to Ian Rappaport, the Denver Broncos have informed Russell Wilson that he is being released. He becomes a fascinating option as a starting QB. I made a video on how Russell Wilson could quite literally win a Super Bowl because of this situation. Not because of how good he is, but because he's getting paid so well by the Denver Broncos that he can take a veteran minimum contract at the quarterback position, and that team can invest that salary cap space in other star players to build a super team. There's never been a point in NFL history where an above-average quarterback, which I believe Russell Wilson at minimum is above average, was getting paid $1.3 billion. And that's the situation here. The Broncos will incur a dead cap hit of $85 billion by releasing Wilson in 2024, which is double the previous record for a dead cap hit, the $4.525 million the Colts sustained for cutting Matt Ryan in 2023. In retrospect, Denver made the wrong move in signing Wilson to a lucrative extension before he played it down with the team. That's especially true considering that he had 2 years left on his original contract after his acquisition from Seattle. Even so, the Broncos appear happy to take on the burden of parting with Wilson. It may hamstring them financially short term, but the move will give Payton and company a chance for a fresh start at the most important position on the field. So now that the Denver Broncos released Russell Wilson, they still owe him $39 million for the 2024 season because of his $17 million base salary and $22 million signing bonus. And here's the beauty of it. It'll be very difficult for Russell Wilson to make more than $39 million this season, even if he signs a deal with another club. His deal with the Broncos contains offset language.
How about that offset?
Meaning that if Wilson signs with another team, Denver would subtract Wilson's earnings from his new team, what it owes him. So, for example, if Wilson were to sign a fully guaranteed deal worth $10 million in 2024, the Broncos would just owe him $29 million for this upcoming season. The only way for Wilson to make more than $39 million in 2024 is if a team signed him to a deal worth more than that sum, which is not going to happen. So it looks like Russell Wilson is going to enter the free agent market in a situation that is completely unprecedented. And the Denver Broncos gave a statement on this, and they look terrible for doing this, honestly. We spoke with Russell Wilson today to inform him of his release after the start of the league year. On behalf of the Broncos, we thank Russell for his contributions and dedication to our team and community while wishing him the best as he continues his career. As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season and beyond. We are excited to improve this offseason, and we'll have the flexibility to get better through the draft and free agency. That last part is the biggest lie of life. The Denver Broncos handicap themselves for doing this. You're pretty much paying the QB top 10 QB money without even being on your roster. So essentially, the Broncos' plan for this season is to tank. If you take a quarterback in the first round of the NFL draft, he's going to be in a very bad situation.
He's going to be terrible.
The best option here is probably sign a bridge QB that's trying to prove himself in free agency. Maybe go after Jacoby Brissett. Maybe trade for Mac Jones. Let him play out the season, because you don't want to reset the clock at QB when you don't have salary cap space to pay other positions. That's a huge waste of a rookie scale contract. Now, Russell Wilson handled this in the most Russell Wilson way ever, giving this beautiful, long, emotional memo that was probably drafted by his team. Broncos country, thank you. Over these last 2 years, you have welcomed my family and me with open arms, and have embraced us as members of the Denver community. This city will always hold a special place in my heart. Our family grew here.
I want to take you to a job interview.
What is it exactly?
It's easy to show you.
Got any medical condition? Cut starting now. It was fun eating fast food every day, through Subway cookies, and grocery store cupcakes, but gotta go. And I would have gotten away with it too if I wasn't meddling with kids. That is not
What? Huh?
Hey, listen, I'm game. Hey, bro. I know this video isn't long, but I just had to get this off my chest. I am getting big. I'm talking about getting something off my chest when I need to be putting a D-cup size bra on my chest. I've been fat before, 265 pounds to be exact. That was just from me being a fat kid. Like, I had 21 years to put that weight on. Now, I started going to the gym in 2022, and I got fit. Then I got lazy. And by lazy, I really just mean hungry. I was eating. But the thing is, since I go to the gym and I get my protein in, when I put on weight, I also put on muscle. So my body tricks me into thinking I'm doing something correct. Because I'll be like, oh, I got a muffin top, but look at my arms though. And it enables me to not take weight gain seriously. Another thing that my body does when I gain weight is it also gains strength crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I've been strong as hell lately. I've been repping on my OPRs like it's nothing. I genuinely feel zero resistance when I am benching 100-pound dumbbells. I'm a unit.
God damn.
Of circumference because I'm fat. Okay, we get it. Why are you saying all of this? Because it's my breaking point. So, working on a video and I get hungry. Now Uber Eats has been doing this deal with Popeyes. If you spend $15, you get 6 wings free. So I'll spend $15 on 12 wings and I'll get 6 for free. That's a great deal. I was spamming that joint. So on that day, I ordered my stuff and I get ready to go down the elevator to pick it up. Now, as I said before, I'm a little bigger than I used to. I still look solid when I have a pump. Like if I'm wearing a tank and I have a pump, godlike physique. But when I have a tank and I don't have a pump, the only god I look like is Buddha. So when I ordered the food, I was in the tank. And instead of changing to something, I was like, this 10 p.m. I'm gonna just go down and grab it. No one should be walking around right now. So I go down to grab my wings. Elevator, clear. Hallway, clear. I grab my wings and head back. Parking lot, clear. Hallway, clear. Elevator, I walk up to that elevator and I see this tall, dark-skinned, cargo pant, crop top, wearing butterfly lock having girl. Bro, she was so bad. Here I am in a sweaty tank top with a beer gut looking like a Bale fusion. I'm over here looking like a King of the Hill character. King of the Meal face ass. I get in that elevator. I try to look at her, and then I just get mad, bro. Like, of course, I see you nigga, I've never seen you before. I don't think I've ever been more upset to see a black woman in my life, bro. Like,
What?
Here it's 10 p.m. I feel like a sundown town citizen, bro. And me holding Popeyes was not helping. Pop out, get on my floor, get in my crib. Still with those wings, but that's where I am right now, bro. I gotta change my ways, bro. Cut starting now. It was fun eating fast food every day, eating Subway cookies, them grocery store cupcakes, but gotta go. And I would have gotten away with it too if I wasn't meddling with kids. That is not how you say it. But yeah, if you don't count my story, this is genuinely the biggest I've ever been. Like, I'll just show you. I look fine from like from here up. But like, man, bro, I'm cooked. And I know I'm getting big because I am way more opinionated about food than I've ever been in my life. Like, Terrence does his monthly shake thing, and I'm not gonna lie. Every first of the month, I am there. I am more devoted to going there on the first than I am to paying my damn rent. Another thing is I'm starting to run out of breath more often, and I am so good at eating wings now, bro. I have mastered the one bite technique. I'm actually pretty confident that I can compete pretty well in the eating competition. But once again, this is also the most muscular I've ever been. I am a unit. I went from looking like a high-value male to looking like a high-value male. You know you're getting fat when women find you more attractive. I don't know what it is, but I've always gotten more attention from women when I'm on the heavier side. Cap is true. Cobblestone, because that's what I'm about to feel like. Cut starting now. I'm done. Summer's coming up. I don't go outside, but I'm gonna look good though. So yeah, I got a vlog channel. I've been documenting my work process, but I'm also gonna start documenting.
Oh shit.
Trying to get right. Tapping. I know this video is shorter. I have a longer one coming this Sunday, actually. Hold this freestyle. Why the fuck that nigga talking like I will not get his drop? Up the beam, I make her run it. Best believe I take my shot. I don't give a fuck about that nigga hoe, cause she's a bop. 808, I made that motherfucking door Photoshop, and that's what shit show. 100 rounds in hollow tips, I put that in the pistol. I'm beefing with nobody, so I really think I'm schizo. We gon' spin the block like Beyblades, I just off the rip though. I'm just talking shit though, like they say idols turn to rivals, but my rivals run the runs. We pass hoes like niggas run them up. Got the blinkers on my waist, and best believe I keep it tucked. I might call my chopper goose the way you make you niggas. I just want my fucking cash flow. They like, yo, you the shit, but really I'm an asshole. We gon' pump you up with lead just like a fucking pencil. Extra chrome is on my body, now I'm feeling special. Racks fell out my pocket, I just made a mess. If I up it, then it's stuck. I aim for domes, don't wear a vest. We make bullets fly, if you a rat, I don't never fuck with pests. I'm just riding with my dog, I feel like my name Johnny Test.
That was always fun.
God doesn't care if you're mad and angry. He wants you to talk to him either way. I'm struggling to have a baby. I'm struggling to bring this beautiful spirit into our home, and then
If you overthink your present project, there will be no next one because you will never finish it. When I know that I've done something from the heart, you know, when you feel like this was really, it really came from you. It really came not from, you know, need to be like someone else, like you want to copy someone else. It truly came from you.
Man, no, I ain't doing that. Hold up.
It's good enough.
I'm not skilling this shit. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Hey friends, welcome back to a new video today. I have a message for anyone who feels like you're not good enough. Doesn't matter if you're an artist, if you're deciding to do something that really matters to you, you know. I was just in a conversation with an artist. He's so passionate about music, and when I was talking with him, I could feel his connection with the sound, with the rhythm. The way he was talking about music was like, you would be talking with with someone who's doing it for his whole life. Like, he feels it, he talks about it, like he's so in tune with it. And his challenge was like, most artists have the same challenge. The way that we feel like our work is not good enough to put it into the public, to get a feedback, to receive a feedback, to see how people resonate with it, not to get approval or to get validation, but just to get some honest feedback, to see if other people will resonate with it the way we resonate, we as we were creating it. Like when I put my art out, it always feels good to get feedback from all of you. It always feels good to read what you see in a painting, not because I need a validation or approval or anything, but it feels good to see how different minds perceive or sense something that was created maybe through me, or if you're an artist, through you. But many times you may feel like you're not good enough to put something out. If you feel like that, I want to give you this message today, because you know how many times I feel that the message is not good enough. I'm making these daily videos, and how many times I feel like the message is not good enough. Sometimes I make mistakes with my language. Sometimes I repeat myself. I often repeat myself. And there's, when I put, for example, when I start editing a video, if I'm not in the right mood, I will always feel like it's not good enough. I will always feel like there's something missing. But don't be misled by that, because sometimes our mood really influences our opinions. Like when you're excited about what you've created and really, really happy about what you've created, you will feel like it's an incredible work. But when you feel sad because something happened, you will feel like it's not so good, right? So make sure that if it's done from your heart, if you've done it with passion, with joy, it's always ready to go into the public. We're so used to compare ourselves with others who are doing it for such a long time that we think we're not there yet, that we are not on that level yet. But we don't understand that we are a unique fingerprint here, that the work you're producing, the way it comes through you, can't come through anyone else. That's why it's so important to really find your voice, to find your tune, to find your sound, right? The universe means one sound, and you really need to discover that sound that moves through you. Like to me, that sound resonates in visual patterns. I love to paint what inspires me, and I love to talk about stories that inspire me. And to some of you, it's music. You like to express the sound that really speaks to you through music, through instruments. Some of you are writing poetry. Some of you are singing. Some of you will find it in organizing, ideas, and maybe building businesses, or whatever you will find. At some point, you need to notice that the only way to really become better at it is to put your work out. So one day you can compare what you've done with what you've done in the past, and you can see that the improvement took place, and you became better at it. You became more skillful, or more connected with it, or maybe worse at it, and you can implement something from the past and improve it, or reuse it, or whatever. That's why it's so important to put it out. Sometimes we are scared of criticism, but what criticism can do truly doesn't matter, really. And I know, it's easy to say that, but when I've started putting my art out, I've never experienced any criticism for that. One day I had an art critic observing my art, and she was quite constructive. So it was still good criticism. And when I've started making this kind of videos, there was many criticism, of course, and many negative comments as well. But it's not something that really, maybe it triggers you in some way. So, of course, you can notice, okay, this is something I need to resolve, but You know, being an artist means that you're sensitive instrument of consciousness, and sensitivity in art is so important because only that way you can sense a rhythm, you can sense ideas, you can sense inspiration, and you can turn it into something that actually exists here. And because you're sensitive, it's also much easier for you to get distracted. There's many impulses that can take you into all kinds of other directions. So you also kind of need to make certain principles for yourself, like what helps you to stay devoted to your work. And to me, it helps me to have certain routines in my day, to have certain, let's say, organized plans. I don't have too much of them because I still like to be spontaneous, but I make sure that every single day I will sit down and I will do my thing. And sometimes I really adapt to the day, to how I feel in that day. Sometimes I feel more inspired in the morning, sometimes I feel more inspired in the afternoon, so I will adapt my schedule. I don't make it too strict. I'm still more spontaneous than organized, but I am organized to the right degree so I don't become chaotic with my ideas and my environment. So I like to have my space kind of clean. So I feel it gives me a sense of being organized. So when I feel inspired, I can immediately start creating. It helps me to stay in the rhythm with myself, to stay in tune with my sound. And when I know that I've done something from the heart, you know, when you feel like this was really, it really came from you. It really came not from, you know, need to be like someone else, like you want to copy someone else. It truly came from you. It's good enough. It's good enough. Even if you were trying to copy someone else while you've been experimenting, which means it's still good enough to put it out. And then also to maybe notice a difference from the one that was really coming from your heart and the one that was maybe a bit influenced by someone else. To see the difference. Play with that. You know, there is no rules like when something will be good enough, when you will be good enough. There is no rules for that. We're all kind of striving towards perfection because we all have within a spirit of an alchemist. We want to learn to transmute ourselves, and the process of transmutation means that transformation is taking place where something that was not so good before became better. It's the process of transmutation. And deep inside, we're all kind of perfectionists at that, especially artists. But don't be misled by that, the way that you think that your work is not there yet. Your work can only come to where you want it to be by consistent improvement of your projects. Like, finish that project and go to the next one, and finish that project and go to the next one. Don't overthink your first project, you know, there will be no next one. If you overthink your present project, there will be no next one because you will never finish it. So sometimes it's better to end up with not perfect project, with not completely edited and perfected project, end it, finish it, and go to the next one. Just make sure that intentionally you've decided that this project is finished. So you don't have too many unfinished projects, because it will lead to chaos as well. You will feel like, I'm not capable of finishing anything I've started. So what I've learned through my art career in recent 7 years, I've learned that every painting I start, I will finish it. Except if I will really notice that I haven't started it from the right space. That from the level of, I don't know, where I was when I was starting it, maybe the inspiration was not really mine. Maybe I was just influenced by the work of someone else. And that was maybe the reason why I started, and it was really not my thing. And soon I will notice that it doesn't work. So that's the only reason why usually I want to just stop working on it, and I will put it somewhere aside and I will just forget about it. Or maybe I will repaint it. In many of these videos you've noticed that I'm repainting a painting. It's because I've started doing something that was maybe not speaking to me, or it did in a certain phase of my life, but then it stopped. So sometimes, yeah, I find myself not finishing a project, but most of the time I will take it to the end, even if I don't like the process, just so I can stay true to the process, because still I will learn a bit more of the skill of creating, of painting, of everything that it is teaching me. And it's important lesson to really train yourself that whatever you start, you will also finish. Whatever you start, whatever you've begun, you take it to the finish line. And then if you have an outlet, put it there. If you have a blog,